Let's go. Let's do life together. Let's do life together. Her pod.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to this week's episode of Her Pod. I am your host, Lexi McDonald, and I'm so excited to be here joining you on a Tuesday, as always. I hope you guys have had a beautiful week. I have had such a nice week. I went on a road trip with my friends. It was one of my friend's birthdays, and for his birthday, he said that he wanted to go on like a road trip, and that is exactly what we did. We went up and down where I live, the state that we live, and we were staying in Airbnbs. There were card games. There was so much like cooking meals together, and we did like a cave. We went to a cave. We did some touristy things. It was just so wholesome and nice. And I think it's the first time in a really long time that I've just like let myself be. I think that and obviously I was working while I was there and I was doing bits and pieces, but I've spent so much of my 20s, if not all of them, working and having quite serious conversations and being a part of serious things and hanging out with people double my age, triple my age. And that feels very intense and having very businessy conversations. So to just kind of sit and be around so many people that were my age and just have the best time, and just it was just so nice. It's so unlike me, and it was so nice. So I'm going into this week. Oh, there's been some shit going on, but yeah, I've had a really nice time. But I think it's also like a good check to see that like what people share or what people post, and even like what people present to you, even if like we were to sit down like we are now and having like a proper conversation, or just like friends and stuff, like to just not know what other people are going through and to be a little bit more gentle around what is happening in people's worlds. And you know, I've had a few chats with a few different people the last couple of days about the things that are going on in their lives and how crazy it is. And it blows me away how someone can be posting on Instagram, or you feel like you do have a sense of like who that person is or what they're going through, because you see them and you see them posting, or you interact with them, or they're literally your friend that you feel like, you know what's happening. And it's crazy to think about the fact that like, you know, us personally, like I'm sure like you have things that you wouldn't tell people or don't tell people that are happening in your world and that consume a lot of your thoughts. And yeah, I think I had a really big reminder of that this week, that like you can see a version of someone and you can see what's happening and what you think is happening around them from what they're posting or what they're telling you. But I think it is so different to maybe what they're actually going through, and sometimes you will never get to see that. So just being gentle with people, it's been like a really big thing that I have re-emerged this week. I'm like, yeah, this is important. I have to make sure I know about these things. And just comparison in general, like it's just so fucking consuming. I can't even bear it. Like the Instagram world, I've got myself into a little spiral. Sometimes I do that, where like I'm on the Instagram world and I'm seeing what everyone's posting and what everyone's doing, and yeah, it's hard to compare yourself and not be like, oh well, why aren't I there? Why am I not doing those things? And why don't I look like that? Why don't I have those? I don't know. It's crazy, and it's such a big thing to navigate too. Like I was talking to my nana about it, and the fact that she was like, oh, well, we never really had that. Like you would compare yourself with the people that you know, worked with, or the people that you went to school with. But when it came to like, you didn't get to see like the prettiest people and the richest people, and the like constantly every day in your feed. And I had a clear out of my feed the last week of like people that I genuinely want to follow because I appreciate their content and I like what they're talking about, and I am inspired by them, versus people that I just follow because they have the things that I want or have the lifestyle that would be really cool. I think when you look at people like that, it can be really scary. So get yourself in a little bit of a hole like I may have done this week. So I think that's a beautiful reminder. Honestly, where am I even going? I've started being like, yeah, I had a really beautiful trip away, and then I'm like, yeah, so like talking about all these things. But I think that's so true. I think comparison is really scary. And I had someone say to me once that like all of the time when we're comparing ourselves to something, we compare up. we don't compare down. And I never have really sat like I'm butchering it. I'm already can't even say it. But she was saying that like when you say, oh, I'm comparing myself, like it's very easy to think that you're at the bottom and you're looking up at everything that everyone else has around you and being like, I don't have these things, and you're constantly comparing up, which is quite dangerous because you're looking at all the things that are better and thinking of yourself in a further down position. But she was saying that like you can also compare yourself down, like you're actually in the middle. Like there's obviously always going to be people that have more than you and that are better than you, prettier than you, smarter than you. Like they're always. And it's, or even if you're the number one person on your list of like this is exactly who I want to be, I want this lifestyle, or this is like the prettiest person in the world, like they've got their own list. Like they're never actually going to be on the top because it's so subjective of like what matters to other people in terms of comparison. So like even if you think that that person has it the best, I can guarantee you that they think that someone else does. Like it's just this weird world. So no one's ever going to win, but realizing that you can look up and be like, oh, I wish I was all these things. But like there's a reminder to also like flip it and kind of look down and be like, oh, well, look where I am. And even if it's not for looking at other people, like I like to do this a lot with myself, and I constantly like to compare myself to the person that I was a year ago, or what the girl 4 years ago would think about where I am now, or the girl that I was a few months ago. Like being able to like look at where I am now and go, oh, well, like there's a version of me that would be really proud of this, and going, oh, well, I'm further along than that person. Or just, looking around and realizing that you're maybe not just down looking up at everyone that has more than you, that you're kind of in the middle of, there's things that may be cooler and better and people have more than us, but there's also a lot of people that have less than us. And even if that less than us is just the person that you were 6 months ago, the person that you were a year ago has less than what you do now. And I think that's like a super big thing that I try and do so much when I get in those things, is being like, okay, well, I'm not at a bottom looking up at nothing. Like there is kind of like that middle ground as well, and I'm kind of in the middle of all of it, which is very reassuring. Actually, I very much enjoy doing that. Because I spoke to this lady and that's something that she said, and it was so impactful to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is literally, thank you so much, that is so powerful. The other one that she said was, she said, okay, Lexi, I want you to look around the room and I want you to tell me everything that's green and count. This is something we can do. It's an audio medium. I want you to have a look around, see what is green. So I can see some grass. I'm at the horses, so I can see some grass. I can see some trees. Look around, see all the things that are green, right? Now I want you to close your eyes. If you're driving, don't do this. I want you to close your eyes. And then she said, all right, can you tell me all the things you saw that were red with your eyes closed? And I opened my eyes. I said, well, I can tell you that I saw 4 green things, but like I wasn't looking for the red. Like I don't know how many red there were. I wasn't looking for those. And she was like, well, that's exactly what you're doing. Like you're constantly looking for things to validate your opinion. Like if you look at yourself and go, oh, I look fat today, or oh, I look yuck, or my skin's bad, or all the things I say to myself. She's like, if you're only looking for those things, you're going to find them. But there's so much red there. The whole room's filled with red, more than green. But like, you can't tell me how much red is there, even if it takes up the whole space, because you're not looking for it. Is that not the biggest mic drop moment? Like genuinely altered everything in my brain. That's probably the most like bestest exercise that I've ever had. I'm like randomly telling you, because I'm like, isn't that crazy that like it's all there? But you're right. If you're focused on just one thing, if you close your eyes, you're not going to be able to see all of the other things that are happening around you because you're not wanting to see them. What can I say? It's very, very good.
Let's do life together.
All right, pop culture. This week has been slow for pop culture, which I am very upset about, to be honest, because I love chatting about the pop culture. I feel like that's like a common ground. Like we both relate to that. We have, firstly, like the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce wedding. Lots of people are speculating that she's having it at Madison Square Garden. Has everyone seen this or not? Obviously, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. So exciting. Probably the coolest Instagram post that I've ever seen when that dropped. I was like, I can't actually believe that this is happening. It felt like she just posted it to like, she was just like a friend from school, like someone from high school being like, surprise, like I've got something to tell you. And yeah, anyway, very, very cool. Stunning. The fact that I felt like we were involved in that as well. Like, cause he obviously, well, not obviously, okay, he proposed to her after they filmed the podcast, and it was obviously Taylor Swift's like first podcast. Why do I keep saying obviously? It's Taylor Swift's first podcast, and obviously is that it was Taylor Swift's first ever podcast, and right after they finished filming the podcast is when Travis Kelce like took her outside and got ready, and then he proposed to her, and it just felt really cool that like for the few hours before she was engaged that we kind of spent that time with her. It feels like we were a part of it, which is very cool. And then yeah, he proposed, they got engaged, and then obviously the next big thing's like, when's the wedding, what's happening? And so many people are saying that they're reporting that she's having the wedding at Madison Square Garden, and it's going to be this thing. I haven't read too much into it because I keep seeing it being like that, people saying that she's going to get married at Madison Square Garden, and I'm like, surely. Like, I get, like, that would be very cool, and it would be a big note to, like, her music and blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, I don't know. Wouldn't she want to get married in like a really pretty space? I know she has a very, very beautiful real estate portfolio. Surely there's like a beautiful home that she has that might, like her Rhode Island house is absolutely stunning. Maybe there would be pretty, or I don't know, like surely there's like a night, I don't know. She has the funds to do whatever she wants. She could turn Madison Square Garden into I don't know, but am I the only one that thinks? Because I keep seeing it and I keep being like, oh no, like that's probably not how it's going to happen, surely. But maybe it is. Maybe I need to read more into it and then tell you what I think. But that could be happening. Although Travis Kelce was on stage for something, and it was like a live show of some sort. See, now I'm butchering all of these facts, but I can visually see a video I watched where there's like a wall, like a PowerPoint happening behind them, and he was saying something, and a video of Taylor Swift appeared and him, because there was some little joke, and they were like out for dinner together, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and a video appeared of that night. And she has an extra ring on that finger. Like it's like a recent video of the two of them, and she has her engagement ring, and then she has a ring with all of these extra diamonds. So I'm like, is she already married? I'm sure she would show us, surely. Like, that's a really fun thing of her, Taylor Swift in a wedding dress. Anyway, it's so fun. It's so fun. Whenever it happens and whatever happens, I'm here for it. I can't wait for the content. I'm genuinely so excited to see it. Love a parasocial relationship. Love feeling like I'm a part of it and care more about it than clearly my own wedding at the moment. I have more thoughts of that because I'm not getting married is probably why. But I genuinely love a parasocial relationship. I know that they have a bad rap, right? Like I know people are like, parasocial, the internet's toxic, blah, blah, parasocial relationships, which is true. And I get that. And I get there's definitely a point where when you think you have a relationship with someone that you don't, and that can be really scary. And when people take that too far and think that they can come to people's houses or, wait out the front or feel like they owed something and blah, 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 blah. But like, I am such a loyal follower. Like there's people that I followed since I was like 12, and I follow them and I still follow them, and I watch any content that they post and consume it because I feel like they're like, I know that like I've grown up with them, I know their values, I know the things that they talk about, I know their families. Like you get to know someone that I feel like they're genuinely a friend, and I feel lost in life if they're not around. I think a good example of that, Zoe Sugg. This might be really niche now, but like I follow Zoella, the big UK YouTuber, who was very popular. I'm sure you would have heard of her. She's very popular in 2010s, 2014s, I think. Yeah, she started posting in 2010, maybe 2014. She kind of blew up. Anyway, that I may have completely butchered all of those figures, but like she was a really popular YouTuber, and I have followed her and watched, grow up from like being in her really early 20s to like getting a boyfriend and moving houses and then obviously having kids and like doing all the things. And like I've watched her life kind of progress like that. And she hasn't posted anything on Instagram or YouTube or anything since last year, since about Christmas last year. And I feel sad because I'm like, oh, like I miss her. Like I miss hearing what's happening in her life. I miss her thoughts on things. Like I miss her like a friend. And it's weird when it's like, oh, I don't have a relationship with this person. Like that's not, she can just stop. I don't know. That's sad. If you follow someone like that, and maybe I'm the problem, maybe I'm completely the problem, but I like having little relationships with people. It makes things feel familiar. And I love like being able to listen to a podcast or having like a YouTube video playing, like no matter where I am in the world, like having like little things that I'm like, oh no, these are familiar people. This makes me feel like I'm at home, even though like they don't live where I live and they're not actually home. But it is nice to feel like a sense of like familiarity. I don't know why I said that so weird. And then having that around people. So maybe I'm the problem.
Let's do life together.
The other pop culture news that we have is that Ariana Grande may be, and is rumored to be, seeing Ricky again. The only reason that I know who this is her song, wrote some songs about Ricky, now I listen and laugh. That was really bad. But, and when she was performing the song recently, you know how she says, I just did it, wrote songs about Ricky, now listen and laugh. She changed the lyrics. She wrote some songs about Ricky and they still kind of slap. So I feel like in an interview though, she did say once, now I wrote some songs about Ricky, now listen and laugh. And she said in an interview, like a radio interview, I feel like I can see the clip very visually. She said, and I could have said, never mind, he's trash or something, but I didn't. I said, now I listen and laugh. Oh, now I've concerned myself. I've just had this thought because I hope that she's with someone nice. I think there's a lot that's happening in Ariana's world at the moment, and I just hope she's okay. And I don't know. I hope this Ricky guy, I know nothing about this Ricky guy, but I hope this Ricky guy's nice. The other relationship that I'm following very closely, maybe too closely, on Instagram is and in Instagram I mean like the celeb gossip pages and the sneaky articles on Instagram, that Keke Palmer and like the guy that does Hot Wings, Sean Evans, went out on a date. And she made a statement about like them taking it one day at a time. I live for that. I honestly, so sweet and fun, and I just think that they would be very cool, like the chemistry and like how they like just I just love watching people like have a nice time and like want to hang out with people and like people's vibes, and just like the fact that we saw a little bit of that and then they've like gone off and done other things and pursuing, I don't know, it's so nice. I just feel so cool. Also that show Hot Ones, crazy. I think about it more than I should, actually. Anytime there's a hot sauce, I'm like, imagine going on that show. And if I'm not, no one's asking me to do it, but like, I don't know if I could. Like, that is, because I just want to know how hot they are. Like, I'm not a spicy foods person. Like, I am probably the biggest food sook that has ever lived. I'm such a picky eater, which I know is an ick, and I'm getting better as I get older, I think. But I'm not some people are like really not fussy, like, oh yeah, give me all. I'm like, no, like I'm someone that like if the chicken's a little bit undercooked, I'm like, I can't eat it. Like it freaks me out. If I start thinking about something too much, like if I am eating like a chicken and I start being very aware that it's a chicken that I'm eating, like I feel really weird about it. What I'm not as bad as some. Like my little cousin like is a very bad piggy eater, but like there's a lot of things that like I wouldn't want to eat on a thing on a on a thing. There's a lot of things that I wouldn't want to eat if given the option not to eat it. And spices is like a huge one for me. Like I'm not a spice. Why would you want your food to just burn a bit? Like, why would you sit there and be like, oh, you know what would make this better? If my mouth was kind of on fire and then my stomach started like feeling all weird because everything's on fire, like no part of me is like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I would like. So I don't really need to add any chili. Even like Nando's, sometimes like the mild at Nando's is a little bit spicy and hot. So like it's just all... So I would die on hot ones. We've been watching Clarkson's Farm. I don't know if this is very niche and if anyone that's watching my age will be watching this, but I watched Clarkson's Farm, which is so good. We've just finished the last episode from the current season. And I do love Clarkson's Farm. I think it's so sweet and just wholesome and nice and just like down to earth, genuine, nice people that are doing really fucking hard work. And I don't care about farming really. That's not one of my interests, is like machinery or harvesting, or like it's just so not in my world. But the fact that I can sit there and watch that and be interested in like what the ag bot's doing or like what's happening or like if they've it's very sweet. I very much enjoy Clarkson's Farm. But I was gonna say in one of the episodes on Clarkson's Farm this season, a guy got like this massive bottle of chili and he like was tipping it on things, and I'm like, what is fun about that? Like they had the tiniest little bit on bread and then they were coughing for ages and then they thought their head was going to explode and they're like, whoa, that was so... I'm like, what? Why would you want to do that? Like what part of you goes, oh yeah, this will be fun? It's honestly wild. I hate chili so much with a passion. Like why would you want to do that to yourself? It's just horrible.
Let's do life together. Let's do life together.
Just a quick break in the episode to talk about something I know you're going to love. If you've ever dreamed of starting your own merch line, side hustle, or creating something totally you, Printify is your secret weapon. With Printify, you can design and create products without dealing with inventory, shipping, or upfront costs. Just upload your design, pick from hundreds of high quality products, and boom, your online store is ready to go. They handle the printing and shipping so you can focus on growing your brand. I personally have some merch samples on our way from Printify for her help, which I'm so excited about and I can't wait for you to see. So head over to printify.com and sign up for free to start creating today. That's printify.com, because your idea deserves to break into the world. Now back to the episode.
Let's do life together.
Let's get on to some dilemmas. One of my best friends has been my best friend for over 5 years. We do everything together and she's genuinely such a big support for me. I recently broke up with my ex-boyfriend and she still is in constant communication with him and me, but I do feel really weird about this. I thought she would take my side considering that nothing crazy or overdramatic happened, but we were different people and it just didn't work out. I feel that she should be more supportive of me, and it is concerning that she is spending so much time with him. Am I an asshole for being upset about this? No. No, I don't think you're being an asshole at all. I would be a lot more upset, I think. Like, I get that, like, you can still be like, if nothing like crazy has happened, like if she was to see him out, like she could give him a hug, or like if she was to walk past him on the street, be like, oh, hi, how's it going? But like her loyalty should lie with you, surely. I don't know, like I get the whole like be mature and like everyone, like I'm not saying like be a dick to him. I'm saying like be pleasant and nice and know that you guys had probably they had their own relationship, because like if she's spending so much time with you and you have your friendship and then like you have your friendship with him as well, like I get that like the two exist, but I just can't imagine myself having like a best friend for 5 years and then her boyfriend, like her breaking up with her boyfriend and me like still trying to maintain both relationships. Like I get in some situations that can make sense, but like if that's your favorite person in the world, like you have her back. I don't know, like that doesn't sit very well with me at all. And I have definitely had friends in the past that like have sided with an ex-boyfriend, or like, and it makes you see them differently, or like you thought that they were your friends and then after the breakup that they kind of kept in communication more so with the ex than me. and it makes you, yeah, it's a weird feeling and I don't like that. You kind of go, oh, yuck. But no, I don't think you're being an asshole for being concerned about it. I would also be very concerned about it. And just have a chat with her maybe is probably the first step. Be like, hey, like this, like I get that you're also his friend and you're checking in on him, but like I'm really upset about this, and you know it was you and me. I don't know how to say I don't know if that's any good advice at all, but I firstly just wanted to validate that you are not the asshole and that is actually genuinely concerning. And let me know how you go.
Let's do life together.
All right, dilemma 2. I have been with my boyfriend for over 2.5 years. We are so perfect together. We do everything together and have the bestest time. The only real drawback I have in our relationship is that I do not get along. I repeat, I do not get along with his family. They are rude, they're nasty, they exclude me from things. They try and gang up on me around him and play tit for tat, and I genuinely am so uncomfortable being around them. Is this something that I can move past, or will this affect the rest of my life? Thanks for the help, Lex. Ooh, okay. This is really hard. And like the answer to your question, is this going to affect the rest of my life? Like if you stay with him, yeah, like that'll be a big thing forever. Like they're probably going to be, if you want to have kids, like the grandparents of your children, and they'll be there forever. You know, his sisters or whoever's around are going to be the aunties of your children. Like as much as like there's one thing, I don't know. This is really hard. And I have firsthand experience of like not getting on with my partner's family and them just not being very nice. And as much as I can try and give as much as I can to someone, like if they don't care or they're rude or nasty, like it does make things so hard. And I completely understand that vibe, and I'm so sorry that that's something that you're experiencing. I think the answer to your question is, yeah, it's going to affect stuff. But it sounds like other than that, like the start of your message, you said that how lovely he was and how kind and how beautiful and how special your relationship is. Like that should be a huge thing, that it's like, oh, it's got nothing to do with us. Like it's a them thing. And I don't know if I would want to throw that away of someone that you love and care about and love, clearly have this incredible relationship with. Like, would you want to throw that away because of the parents? I guess the bigger question is like more, what is he doing? Like, I think in a relationship, like you can't control what other people are going through. We can't control how other people are. But like, if you guys are solid and have each other's back and stick up for each other and are that, then that's a really good place to start. Like, I think my, concern and understanding and where I'd love your feedback is, or like, would love for you to follow up your feedback. Would love for you to follow up is like, what is he doing? Like when his parents are being rude to you, or when his parents are saying these things or making things really hard for you, like what is he doing? because I think it's really, really, really hard if he doesn't see it, or he goes, oh, that's just them, or like, oh, you're just misunderstanding what they're saying, or that's just blah, blah, blah. Like, that makes it very, very hard. But if he can like advocate for you and have your back and stick up for you, like, I think that's where it needs to be. And if he's not, I think it's definitely worth a chat, being like, I'm sure you can see how your parents are, like, it's just not nice, and see what he says, because at the end of the day, you asked if it's something you can move past. Like, if you feel like you have the support and kindness of like your partner and that like you can work through it, amazing. But like, I don't think it's going to go away. Like, you'll be around this person forever. And I used to work in retail and was around, and one of my co-workers was a lady in her 60s, and she was saying that like ever since she met her husband when she was my age and in her early 20s, and she didn't get along with the parents, them, like her in-laws, like she'd never really got along with them. And she's like, now I'm 60 and they're like in their 80s and early 90s and they're still nasty and horrible, and that still has an impact on our relationship and the kids going and seeing them and how that works and how they treat me, and like that stuff, you know, family doesn't really go away, and if they're not nice, like, that doesn't go away. But it sounds like you've got something really great, but I don't envy that position. And I think that's so hard, because when you're dating someone, you're not just dating them, you're dating their family, and you're dating the people that they are friends with and the people that they're around. And I don't know, the only family I guess you can choose is your partner. But it's, yeah, how he interacts with that dynamic as well will tell you hopefully everything you need to hear.
Let's do life together.
Dilemma 3. Lexi, I don't know if this boy likes me. I'm getting so many mixed signals. Sometimes I think that he's really into me, and other times I just don't think he is. We message, then we don't. We talk, and then we stop. I really like him, and I feel like sometimes he likes me, but I feel really confused and unsure, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. I would love your help. Okay, this one's hard because I've been victim to this so many times, where you're like, you get drip fed things where it's like you hang in there, because how can you not? Because like when you're talking and when you're messaging, it's so nice, and then like they won't reply for a day or two, or like they take longer, and like the cycle of being like, is this person into me, is this not person into me? Like, some of the things they're doing implies that they might be into me, and then there's some things that they're doing that completely say the opposite. And how does one navigate that? I feel this to my core. I've been in this situation too many times. Something that someone said to me when I've been in this situation was that like, if you know, you'll know, and if you don't, you'll be confused. And as much as like that's a really hard thing to hear, I think that is true to a point, that like if you think someone likes you, they will make that a priority, and they will make you a priority, and you'll know about it because they'll be planning things, or like messaging you back, or being involved, and like wanting to be a part of things, and like making a big effort. And I think when you get that, and you get someone that does do those things and does put in effort and is open about how they feel about you, or is eager and engaged to talk to you, like, you will be less confused, and you'll feel more settled in the fact that you know where you are. And that's not to say that like in a talking stage, you know, obviously there's you're not going to give all your cards away right at the start, but I think there is a very big difference between like feeling like you guys are on the same page, and that you're both like enjoying the chat, and both like putting in equal amounts of effort. And like text messages lengths is also as long. I think that's a big one, is like, I've been in things in the past where like I'm sending big messages and they're sending like a few sentence replies, and I'm like, why am I even doing this? Like, I'm very invested and I'm giving my best work. I've got my best banter out. I'm like being funny and kind, and I'm like relating things back to like past conversations, and I'm like playing this big, like doing this thing. I was gonna say playing this big game, but that's definitely not what it is. But you know, like engaged in the chat and like properly like invested in what's happening. And then they're just giving like, they're drip feeding things or like laugh reacting to messages and stuff. And I'm like, you're not meeting me at my level, you know? And I think what you have to know and understand that like there will be people that do match that level and want to be talking to you the amount that you're talking to them. Like there are so many people in the world. There's so many people that you haven't talked to. And just because this person may have something that you like, or like there's a reason that you're obviously invested, like know that there's so many other people that like would genuinely want to get to know you. And I think, yeah, the biggest thing is if you know, you know, and if you don't, you'll be confused. And as much as that's really shit, and as much as like I have definitely gaslit myself being like, no, like this is wrong, like there's parts of blah, 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 and like you want to make it work so bad in the moment. And it's so much easier giving advice and being like, yeah, well, probably this is the thing. Like it's so much easier to do that than it is to like actually live it and do it and feel it. But yeah, know that that's probably the advice that I'll give you, but I've been there. And I'd like to hear how it goes. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of Her Pod. I hope it was okay. I hope it was valuable. It definitely wasn't the best Her Pod episode we've ever done. There's been stuff going. You can probably hear that I'm really tired and my energy is not as high as it has been, which I think circles back to the past of like that there's some things going on in the world. But I just love talking to you. Rain or shine, hail or just making up phrases now. Yeah, I love talking to you and I hope to be back next week in a higher spirit. But yeah, love you guys so much. Also, pop culture news really dragged this week, so we'll have to aim for better next week. But I do love you guys so much. And as always, let's do life together. Bye.
Let's do